Hello everyone, welcome to this 7th Inclusion Full Circle Dialogue. Today we have very honored and esteemed guest with us. Her name is Sukanya. Welcome ma'am, welcome to this platform. And about her introduction, she is a co-founder and director of Preschool Olympiad and she has earned Bharat Gaurav Ratan Shri Award. And apart from these, there are many aspects which I probably won't be able to list down in this session only. So I would like you to come up with your own introduction, ma'am. How do you see yourself as a person and who is Sukanya?
First of all, for a mother, the first identity is their children. And since we are talking about parenting today, it is how you raise your children and what do they do is your real identity. Apart from that, in work, I work with preschools, the school owners who are having schools all across India, not only in urban but in rural, tribal areas. And we help them assess their children on the NEP policy, which is the foundational literacy and numeracy. That's what we do. We are aiming to have a goal of Viksit Bharat 2047, as our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has, that the confidence of the children today is going to build a nation tomorrow. So by 2047, all the preschoolers, that 3 to 8 years old children, are going to be 25 to 30 years of youth who will be running our nation. So we are trying to build in confidence and making sure that they're never afraid of mathematics or speaking or having a logical reasoning in place. So we are trying to work on that.
That's beautiful, ma'am. That's beautiful. So let's open our circle of dialogue. My first question is, when you look at a young child, what do you see first? Ability, potential, behavior, or the needs?
When I first look at a child, I basically look at a potential, because every child, in some way or the other, are having a potential to become something. Now, no child should ever be deprived of an opportunity. It is on us, the adults, primarily the parents, the preschools, where they step in outside their home for the first time, to identify that potential and give adequate support to the child so that they can bloom in that direction.
Right, right. So we must see potential in every child and we must say yes to every potential.
Right.
My second question is, what is one thing that adults consistently misunderstand about young children?
These days, adults are in a very noisy world. Noisy in the sense that they have a lot of information coming in, a lot of things to do in a short span of time. And everybody is having their own personal goal in life, their own stress, their own traumas. What happens is, especially at home, even at school, the child becomes under pressure because of the pressure the adult is going through.
Right.
So if parents are having any kind of stress during the day, what they do is they basically transfer it to the child in some form or the other. So is for the school owner. They are also having a lot of stress. The teachers are also having this stress, not only from home, but in their workplace also. They are burdened with a lot of work. And then since the WhatsApp group has started with the parents, they are not spared even after the school hours. They are constantly on service.
Right.
So this also makes them form an opinion about a child depending upon the parent's behavior. So my message to all the people, all the adults around who are having children at home or at their school is to do not transfer your mood or your difficulty or your stress on your children. Because right now they're at a receiving end, but they are going to exactly copy what they are getting from you one day, and then they are going to behave the exact way with you and with the world.
Your explanation just reminded me one of my own sentence. I used to say that children are like blank CDs. They will play back the songs written by you.
Exactly. So they are soft right now. How you train them is what going to shape them. Whatever they're experiencing, we call it experiential learning. It is only not happening in the school. Any experience they're having anywhere, any kind of trauma, happiness, whatever you take it, they are going to do exactly the same thing to others.
Yes, yes. Next, you need to complete these sentences. Every child can learn, but
Requires the environment and the opportunity.
what should assessment really do for a child?
An assessment should be done in a way so that the child does not know that he or she is being assessed. That's the main important thing about assessing a small child. And once you assess, when you do a corrective measure, when you take a corrective measure, the child should not know that it's a corrective measure being taken. It's quite tough. It may be very easy to listen to, but that's what it is.
What is the difference between assessing a child and understanding a child?
So they're interrelated. You basically assess a child to understand the child. What happens in a school classroom is there are multiple number of children in the class. So sometimes the teacher may miss out on some aspect, or even if they notice, they may not be able to put emphasis on it. And they are also afraid to, in many cases, tell the parents that there is a gap and we need to work on it, because every parent expects that my child is going to do very well in the school because I have already put him in a good school.
Right.
So sometimes it is not understanding, and sometimes it is understanding but not able to express. So both the cases are not very good for the child. That's what I would say.
Can a score ever tell us about the whole story of a child?
Never. It can be a bad mood that day. It can be, especially for small children, I just don't feel like doing it today. Or, there is somebody sitting next to me. I would like to watch that child doing whatever that child is doing. So, a score, even when we grow up and we go to our workplace, also, it is never. So there is a saying, right? This was not a good day for me. We adults will say that it was just a bad day for me. So for a child also, it could be just be a bad day. So any assessment has to be done in multiple levels for a child to be really assessed in different year of the time or different learning stage of the time.
Right.
The child should be assessed. That is why we also do this assessment, that foundational literacy and numeracy assessment 4 times in a year in different parts.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. What can an assessment reveal that a teacher may not notice in the regular classroom interaction?
Okay. I would list out a few. It is mostly the pattern identification. So supposing you have given a kite and half of the kite is drawn on the paper and the child is asked to draw the other side of the kite.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of children cannot exactly fathom that. Okay?
Okay.
Or if you do a circle this side and you ask the circle to be done this side, at
Mm-hmm.
what shape it is coming in. Maybe the child has the pencil grip but not able to understand that this has to be this. Those mirror images, the patterns, then even the color identification sometime. So
Okay.
these are the things which a teacher may miss, because when you're giving a banana, the child is seeing everybody picking the yellow color, so the child also starts. If you give an apple, everybody is starting to color it red. But whether the child really has understood that why an apple is red, you have to show a green apple to the child and say that this is also variant which is available. So when we teach somebody in the class, we only teach a part of things, and there are a lot of other things which can happen. So when the child goes home and sees a green apple, then he thinks in his mind that why was I told that apples are always red? the teacher does not identify this learning gap because she has limited time and she has so many things to do in the class with so many children. So these are the things which are very, very important for the development, that you have to understand the whole truth. You will have to understand the reasoning behind it, why it is happening like this. Then, for example, we give two pictures and say that, okay, identify 6 differences. So we give 10 differences and ask them to identify 6. So we see that which 6 the child is identifying first, which the child is not able to identify first, which child is also identifying more than 6, and which child is not able to identify all the 6, even the 6. So these are different things which we give this information to the school, that these are the things you need to work on and these are the activities you're supposed to do to make this gap go away, which the teacher may not understand in the classroom, in all the shor sharaba and all kids in the class.
Right. What can a score never tell us about a child?
The score actually never tells anything about the child. So a score is what? I mean, small children should never be scored. We also do not disclose any mark score, percentage, ranks, nothing. So a child is scored is also very, very wrong thing to do. It is not a child who's good or bad. And if you have to score, you score how the school is teaching. You give a grade to the school that, okay, if 50% of your children are up to the mark as per their age, then you are this grade. If you're 70%, then you are this grade. If 80% of the children are doing this, then you are this grade. You can actually grade the school. But children, if they don't know something today, you tell them tomorrow, they will learn it. So scoring today and scoring tomorrow will be hell and heaven difference. So I don't think small kids should be scored or ranked or marked or labeled ever, because the moment you score, the child gets labeled.
Right.
When we were small in the class, the first girl was roll number 1. Imagine the plight of the roll number 35. Nobody has told that child anything, but the child knows, in 35 students in my class, I am the 35th. So never put a number against any person's intelligence or capabilities. So scoring is not right for small kids at all. This is the time for us to score ourselves as to what we have been able to do for the child.
That's actually quite profound. And I'm hoping that people understand it and implement it too. Because in a traditional schooling, we are just putting everything on the shoulder of children.
Absolutely. Children are the recipient. They are not the delivery output material. So if a child has not understood something, more than the child, it is the person who's teaching.
It's very simple, and I think sometimes I wonder why people are not getting this simple thing. Without input, you cannot expect an output. When the children are coming to any setup, be it a preschool, daycare, or whatever the setup is, they are there to receive the input. Instead of providing that input, you are deliberately assessing them, providing the scores, categorizing them. It really doesn't make sense. Provide the input first, notice where they are facing the challenges to receive that input, support them in those area. Then after some time you can see whether they are growing, whether they are moving forward, or still if there are any challenges, and change the support system or style and let them grow. That's how it makes sense to me.
So, the number of children in a class, this group studies basically is not very suitable for small kids. Though our schooling system requires to have a minimum of 15, 20, 30, 40, some schools have even 50 children sitting in one classroom. But a group study is never the right measurement for a very small child. The child needs personal attention at that age. So when you are sitting with the child face to face, you can listen to the child. A lot of things happen when you listen. Our classroom structures are there is one teacher who's speaking and the children are listening. So when they are listening, you don't know how much they have listened and how much they have understood and how much they can apply. By asking a few questions to a few children, you pick up and you ask them questions and you then ask the rest of the people, have you understood? Is actually not. Then give them a test, and if they can't do it, then you say, oh, I asked you whether you understood and you did not. That's the framework all across schools. But small kids, the children who I work with, 3 to 8 years of age, they need personal attention. You have to sit, you have to listen to them to understand whether they have understood or not. Otherwise, you cannot teach a small child.
Right. Can an assessment itself become exclusionary?
It can become, because if a teacher decides that I will have different set of questionnaires for different set of children. I know a school in which they have tables and then they give different papers in different tables. I'm not saying it's a very, very healthy thing, because there also there is a built up in child's mind that I'm not so good, so I'm in C table, and those who are good and more capable than me, they are on the A table. But you can definitely make different sets of assessment papers for different tables. And if you feel that somebody is not able to grasp faster, to make that child learn, you can have different set of activities also, but that will require more than one teacher in one classroom. And we all know what is the situation of the hiring of the schools. They are always understaffed, and that is why teachers have so much of pressure on them. So the ideas I can give a lot, but then whether it is implementable by the schools also, we have to say they also work in a very in a squeezed kind of capability. How much ever big the school is, every school has these limitations, that I have these many teachers are on leave, these many teachers are not able to teach this particular subject, so I'll have to depend on these 4 teachers. So if you study this, any school, number of students and the number of teachers, I'm not saying the classroom ratio, but if you see a very big school with say 1000, 1200 students, there also the number of teachers are 46, 50.
Right.
So putting 2 teachers in one running classroom is never going to work out. And that is why exclusionary, assessments, doing it's pretty far away. But yes, if it can be done, it will be good.
Right. Does inclusion mean giving every child the same opportunity, or giving each child what they actually need to participate?
Same opportunity does not make any sense for a child who has a different kind of needs, which works both ways. If the child is a genius, a special child, a gifted child, that child needs something different. A regular child needs different things, and a special child needs something different. So if you are making everybody sit together in one classroom, the first child is going to get bored, the third child is going to be afraid. So it can never be what you're saying. It is not possible. Not in my opinion.
So, does that mean inclusion is not possible?
Inclusion is possible only when you are making different things available for, again, coming same answer as the previous one. So if in one classroom, if you have 15 children who are regular, you have 2 children who are having extra abilities, and you have 3 children who need special assistance, then you need to have 3 teachers attending to them, though the learning is same, but how you are encouraging them and how you are helping them to do it has to be different. So every batch of children should be given different levels of opportunities in the same classroom if you are having all of them sitting together. And a child who getting included does not mean that he has to adjust to what you are giving. It has to be the school prepared to give what that child needs. It is like in one cage you have a bird, a cat, and a tiger. So what you are going to feed them? Different things. No, let's assume that all of them are in harmony and they're not going to eat each other. So you will have to give seeds to the bird, fish to the cat, and meat to the tiger. So if you are saying that you're including all these three in one space, then you will have to feed them different things. That's what I mean to say.
That's quite eye-opening and interesting for me to learn. It sounds like to ensure inclusion at the end of children, school needs to integrate teachers for that particular classroom aligned with the need of that group, be it
Yes.
a different developmental differential child and normal child or a extraordinary child. So first task is to identify all the children and then assign the teachers to that class to meet the need of each and every one child collectively yet specifically.
Absolutely. That's the right phrase, collectively yet specifically. Only then you are including everybody.
I'm
Include them at
delighted to learn
the
that also. Yeah. Okay. What should happen in the classroom the very next day after an assessment identifies that a child needs support?
It has to be absolutely the same like the previous day. The child should not know that he has been or she has been assessed of a gap. The activities given on that particular day has to be oriented towards helping that child, but everybody has to do it. Nobody should feel that I am not able to do it, this is for me, and for the rest, since they're able to do it, something else is for them. The moment you do it, you are basically again not being inclusive. You are basically dissociating between children. So if you have identified that itself, the 50% job is done, that you have identified the gap. Once you identify the gap, make sure that the child does not know that there is a gap. You should assess the child without the child knowing the child is being assessed, and you will also fix the gap without the child being knowing that there is a gap which is being fixed.
Right. Are we sometimes asking what is wrong with this child when we should actually be asking what is missing from the environment?
So who defines what is right and what is wrong? Correct. So what we have been seeing in our life and what we have been experiencing, basis which we have decided what is right and what is wrong. If you take a group of adults, you will find everybody thinks what is right and what is wrong in a different way. Their perception about right and wrong are different.
Right.
So I may feel, what this incidence is not right. You may feel, no, this is absolutely right. Okay? So when we are treating the children, why are we trying to put them in one box and say that since I'm telling this is right, and the other thing is wrong. So it is very wrong on us to even decide and choose and establish that this is right and that is wrong. Don't do that. Keep it fluid. If the child is doing something which you feel is not right, there are many ways to tell the child that this is how I think is going to be better, and ask the response from the child that do you think it is? You may get resistance, especially for preschoolers. There is no resistance. They're soft like mud. There's no resistance. If you find there is resistance, leave it. Don't pressurize. Try once more. It is like when you start feeding a child a new thing, a baby, an infant, a new thing. So when they're 6 months old, you stop the only milk food and you start giving them solid, semi-solid food. So supposing you're trying a orange juice and the child is not wanting to have it. What do? You force the child saying this is right for you. You have to drink. No, you don't do that. You keep the juice aside. You try it again after 2 days. After
Right.
2, 3 times, he or she starts liking it, and then it may so happen that likes it so much that wants it every day. So same, why don't we try to convince a 6-month-old? Because we know that we can't convince a 6-month-old. The 6-month-old does not understand what is being told. But the moment the child starts understanding words, we try to push things on them saying that this is right and that is wrong. There is time for everything. Be it right, be it wrong. There will be a time when they will know this is right and this is wrong. As a parent or as a school caregiver or teacher, you will have to be patient with the child. You can't force anything. Imagine if somebody tries to force on you that this is right, Nidhi, you have to do this. What will happen? Your first reaction will be adverse. I will not do it. Either you will say, or you will have it in your mind that why am I being forced into it? Either
Right.
that person has some agenda, or even if they don't have an agenda and I know this is right, I'll not do it. So that
Right.
resistance gets built. So the children will have to be handled in a not a right or a wrong way, but in a moderate way, taking time with patience. Over the period of time, they will come to the track of the person who's teaching. But then again, I will end this question saying that maybe the person who's teaching is also not right. That we don't know for sure.
Right. Right. How much of a child's performance reflects the child, and how much does it reflect about the environment in which we ask the children to perform?
Again, I will take an example. If you're wearing a sweater, that means it's cold,
Right.
right? So it is your environment which makes you act and react.
Mm-hmm.
So a child's behavior is always a reflection of the environment. The
Right.
child may be hungry. So when I had my child, the doctor told the children don't manipulate. Only three reasons they will cry: and they're hungry, or they've wetted themselves, or they're feeling hot. These are the only three things. If your child is crying, please check whether they have wetted their diaper. You check whether they are hungry, or you check whether they are feeling hot, or in places where it is cold. These are the three things only which the child will cry. So, whatever the child is doing, saying, reacting, overreacting, throwing tantrum is all because of the environment. It may have been a rewarded behavior for the child. So, last time he threw tantrum, he got what he wanted. So, next time also he will throw tantrum. Or maybe the child is hungry and does not want to do the work which you are asking the child to do. So that's also an environment. Or the child must have watched something previously that, somebody stealing something and eating and not being reprimanded for that. So the child will still, they'll think that this is how it has to be done. So their experience and their environment is actually reflecting in the child. So there is a saying that आपने जो भी पुण्य किया है या पाप किया है वो आपके बच्चे में रिफ्लेक्ट होता है सो इफ यू डन गुड then your child will be good. If you have not done good, then your child will not be good. So same, a child behaving in any which way is the true reflection of what they have gone through, and it is mostly the parents.
You actually made it quite simple, subtle, yet so profound. That's truly amazing. Who should be more ready in terms of schooling, a child or a school itself?
I go a little backwards, not even the school. It is the person who decides to start a school. The person who thinks that I'm going to have an educational institute in which the future of the country is going to be shaped in form of children. What is the vision of that person? Is he having a lot of money, a plot of land, and thinks that, okay, I'll build a building and then hire some people and make some good money because school seems to be a good business? Is he a person who's in so much love with the infrastructure of the school that he keeps propagating that we have AC classrooms, swimming pools, air conditioned auditoriums, and trying to sell that to the parents who can afford it? So if you are here to make children be responsible and confident for the future Bharat, then if you are opening a small school in a broken building, your purpose is served. You are ready. And if you are ready, it's always top down. If the top is ready, then that culture gets percolated into the principal, into the teaching staff, into the helping staff, everybody. But if your mindset from the beginning is I'm doing a business and come what may, I'll have to retain the parents and whatever they ask for, it has to be given. It's a toll on everybody. It's a toll on the principal, it's a toll on the teachers, it's a toll on the help, it's a toll on the child. That everybody is under pressure, that everybody has to get A plus because they have paid an X amount of fee in this. And if a parent comes and shouts at the child, the principal will shouts at the teacher, the principal will say that you will have to take it because otherwise your job is not there. So that's a very toxic school, I must say. So, of course, before the school, the person who's the founder of the school will have to be ready for this profession, and they should know why they are having a school, why they're opening a school. If they're opening a school and not a shop or not a hotel, so then they should know that they are not having a customer service, it's education. Like we used to be, I studied in a government school. Will anybody send their children to a government school today? Nobody will send. No. Right? Because it's the social stigma. It is all these things, a lot of things are playing today. So, and there are so many schools in one locality that they're competing with each other. I don't know what can be done about that, but of course, the child is always ready for everything. As I told, they're like soft mud, they're ready for everything. You want to make a bowl out of it, you want to make a glass out of it, or you want to smash it and crush it and finish it. It's all up to the others. So children are always ready. It's not even a question that whether the child should be ready. The school should be ready, and the school owner should be ready first to make the school ready.
I'm trying to come up with the words because whatever you said just now, most of us are aware about the school culture, the toxicity you mentioned, but only few, I would say a few like you, has a strength, stamina to articulate it so well, so openly, and I'm grateful that you articulated it over here today. I hope people get the message and understand that school is not just a business stuff. You are having a responsibility about the character, about the future, about the integrity of so many children on your shoulder. So lastly, quickly, we'll do this rapid fire style. Play is learning or preparation for learning?
Play is learning.
Assessment is measurement or understanding?
Understanding.
Inclusion is access or belonging?
Belonging.
One thing every preschool teacher should stop doing?
Stop saying no, this word. Be cautious in the classroom. That decide that I will not use this word no.
Right. Inclusion becomes real when
you can feel the child you are trying to include.
So that was it for today. Thank you so much, ma'am, for saying yes and enlightening us with your experience, your insights. I'm truly delighted that you came up with so much of insights and suggestions which me and of course the people who are going to listen this session will have so many gold in their hand with which they can truly brighten the future of children who are coming to them. I'm truly honored. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.